What many are starting to wonder about Charlie Woods. After a shaky start to the year where the spotlight seemed almost too heavy, he's begun to show signs of resilience that have turned doubt into intrigue. His early struggles in the PGA Tour pre-qualifiers may have reminded the world that raw talent alone doesn't guarantee instant success, but what came after showed something far more important. Charlie bounced back with a series of strong performances in junior and amateur events, proving he's not just living off his father's name but carving out his own path. Each round has started to look less like a teenager trying to live up to impossible expectations and more like a competitor, figuring out how to manage pressure on his own terms. Now, with the biggest tournaments of the season ahead, Charlie finds himself at a crossroads. Will he use the setbacks as fuel to push himself closer to the professional stage? Or will 2024 serve as a tough but necessary reminder that greatness is built step by step, not overnight? What's certain is that he's not shying away from the fire, he's walking straight into it. And like the phoenix, the question isn't whether he'll rise, but how high victory, and when it mattered most, he rose above the pressure, delivering clutch shots and steady play that left no doubt about his intent to win. By the end of the tournament, Charlie stood at the top, not just as the champion but as a player who had silenced critics and reminded everyone why his name carries so much weight in golf. His bounce back wasn't about luck, it was about resilience, discipline, and the fire to prove that one setback doesn't define a career. This turnaround has sparked a new wave of excitement with fans and analysts now asking if this is the moment Charlie Woods begins to carve out his own legacy. Because while talent can capture attention, it's the ability to respond to adversity that defines greatness. And Charlie just showed the golfing world he has that rare quality in spades, hard and fast, as Charlie struggled to keep pace against seasoned players, showing flashes of brilliance but ultimately falling short of making it through. The lesson was harsh but invaluable. A reminder that raw talent alone isn't enough at that level. You need polish, consistency, and mental steel. Then came the crushing disappointment at the U.S. Junior Amateur, a setback that could have easily derailed his momentum. Yet instead of letting failure define him, Charlie used it as fuel. By storming back at the South Florida Junior PGA Cup, he proved to himself and to the golf world that he has the resilience and hunger required to rise again. That's the real story of his season so far, the contrast between stumbling under pressure and coming back stronger with grit. And as the year unfolds, the big question isn't whether Charlie Woods has talent, everyone knows he does. The question is whether this fire, this ability to learn from mistakes and respond with composure, will carry him through the unforgiving climb toward the PGA Tour. If his latest performance is any indication, the golf world might be watching the early stages of a star learning how to turn pain into power. Really stumbled to find him. For a 15-year-old, that kind of spotlight can feel more suffocating than motivating. But Charlie Woods isn't an ordinary teenager, he's the son of Tiger Woods. And with that name comes both the heaviest burden and the brightest opportunity. One brutal round doesn't erase the talent, discipline, and flashes of brilliance he's already shown, but it does highlight the reality of the road ahead. Golf isn't a game of hype, it's a game of patience, resilience, and learning how to rise after every fall. The 86 he carded may have given critics ammunition, but for Charlie, it may also be the fuel that sparks his next breakthrough. The real question now is whether he can channel the sting of failure into focus, blocking out the noise and proving that the Woods name is not just about legacy, but about evolution. If he can, then this early setback won't be remembered as a failure, but as the moment where his real journey truly began. Firestorm of hype. And while the early results painted a picture of struggle, each event has revealed another layer of his growth. The missed cuts and rough rounds showed his humanity, but the flashes of brilliance, the runner-up finish at the Medalist Tour, the clutch victory at the South Florida Junior PGA Cup proved he has the game to match the name. At just 15, Charlie is experiencing what many golfers face much later in their careers, the brutal pendulum swing of disappointment and redemption. What separates him is not just the Woods pedigree, but the mental toughness he's already showing under extreme pressure. 2024 is turning into a defining year, not because of trophies or titles, but because it's shaping the resilience and maturity he'll need if he's ever to succeed on the PGA Tour. Every stumble has come with a lesson, and every comeback has reminded the world that Charlie Woods isn't just here because of who his father is, he's here because he's carving out a future of his own. The path may be uneven now, but if he continues to learn and adapt, the horizon for this young talent stretches as far as Augusta's fairways and beyond. Growth and how it could play a pivotal role in shaping his game going forward. At just 15, he's already filling out with the frame of a future powerhouse, and that added strength is beginning to translate into his swing speed, distance, and overall control. Every inch he grows, and every pound of muscle he adds, brings him closer to competing on equal footing with seasoned professionals. Yet, it's not just about raw power. The real test is whether he can harness that physical evolution and merge it with the mental game that golf so ruthlessly demands. His height and build may soon surpass Tiger's, But the bigger question remains, can Charlie also inherit or even exceed his father's legendary composure under pressure? If he manages to combine his developing physique with the maturity he's been forced to learn through setbacks, Charlie Woods could very well be on the path not just to living up to his last name, but to carving out his own identity as golf's next global superstar. Charlie Woods' rapid growth has fans buzzing, with comments pointing out how he looks more like a young man than a kid, and many noting how quickly his body is transforming into that of a future powerhouse. This physical evolution could be the game changer that elevates his swing speed, arc, and distance, perfectly aligning with his lifelong dream of winning the US Open. The first half of 2024 has been nothing short of a roller coaster filled with highs and lows, but golf has always been about resilience as much as skill, and Charlie has shown he possesses both. All eyes now turn toward the 2024 PNC Championship, where Charlie and Tiger Woods will once again team up in a bid to capture the elusive title that has slipped away in previous years. With Tiger's wisdom guiding him and Charlie's relentless drive pushing him forward, would you really bet against them? The world is watching closely. Will Charlie continue rising, silencing the critics and proving that he's more than just Tiger's son? Or will the immense pressure weigh him down? One thing is clear, Charlie Woods isn't just a name, he's becoming a force, and his story is only just beginning.